Hello, my name is Hersh, and welcome to the HERshyt Show. Well, a little bit about it. You're gonna laugh, you're gonna cry, you'll probably cuss at me, but that's alright. I just want to bring to you the realization of what's really going on in this world that a lot of people are afraid to speak on. Enjoy. So welcome back to this week's The HERshyt Show, and listen. We be doing business and eating all at the same time.
Everything.
We unscripted around these parts.
I keep it real over here.
So there's something that has been bothering me a little bit. And I don't know if it was just like an epiphany or like me raising Ace. You know what I mean? Mm. But it dawned on me like we forget that our parents were once children. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like at what point, and it kind of reminds me of or puts me in the aspect of, you know how birds be pushing their little badass kids out
the nest.
Yeah. So, but then parents get hurt in the process, like their emotions, because you're so used to doing stuff for your child, or you did, you know.
Right.
And then it all of a sudden changes. But at what point do we look at it as the bird pushing the babies out of the nest? Like for real.
I'm gonna be on. At what point?
Like we have to realize that we get so frustrated with our kids, or not even just frustrated. We start missing them when they want to start hanging with their friends, and you know, because everybody goes through phases of life,
right?
And at some point, as a teenager or a young adult or whatever, it's not that they don't need their parents anymore or the guidance, because it may not have been the parents that raised them. But they may not need that short rope on them anymore. You know what I mean? You pushed me out of the nest, but now you want to pull me back. But then I also forget that at one point, you was a kid too. So I'm looking at you like you don't know shit.
But, I mean... Yeah,
it's kind of hard to bring it together.
Because I kind of go through that now with my daughter. Because, you know, it's kind of like, I know how I was as a child. You know? Oh, I know how I was
as much as we say we don't want to be like our parents.
And it's like, my daughter, of course, she has certain, you know, characteristics and certain traits in me, but she's not built how I'm built. Mm-hmm. And so she didn't have to go through what I had to go through. And so when it comes to like, you know, parenting her and pushing her out of the nest, I lacked pushing her out of the nest. You know, I had a chokehold. Whereas like, no, you know, we doing XYZ, ain't no none of this. Yeah. And I had to kind of get to the point. Actually, my husband kind of got to the point like, you can't do that. Like, you cannot do. She gonna buck against it. She gonna rebel. Like you gonna have to. She's getting older. Yeah. She gonna have to live her own life. You gonna have to let her make mistakes. You can't not just say, I don't want her to do this, and the third. You don't know what's gonna happen. Yeah. You know, you gotta let her go. I'm now just letting. You know, now, like, she's a junior in college. She's a junior in high school, and, you know, she's 16, so now I'm kind of...
Now, but at that point, did you realize, did your husband make you realize, like, you know what? Now I have to remember when I was that age. Because there's some things where we'd be like, I don't want you doing the same shit I was doing, so, you know what I mean? You try to embed that in them, but at the same instance, we forget that our parents, just like we forgot that our parents were once children. Yeah. And some parents, like you said before, had us at a very young age. Oh, yeah. So they were still growing up.
Yeah.
So at what point we also still have to notice that we have to forgive. We have to get a better, not necessarily forgive. You do need to forgive for yourself.
Right.
But you need to have that understanding that, I'm raising my own, but now I sound like
my mom. Yeah. That's definitely the thing. And because I catch myself a lot of times like, oh damn, I sound like Natalie. Like, ooh, child, like that ain't go, you know. But it makes me kind of go back and kind of reevaluate some things, because even when it comes to like maybe like screaming, like my mom used to scream all the time, like God damn, I don't want to.
I had to start catching myself because I get
so
loud.
So it's like now, like I don't scream as much. I used to, like
sweetheart, we talk loud as hell now.
No, I'm talking about like like oh, you need to go. Now it's kind of like, okay, maybe if I take this type of approach versus the way that if I didn't like something done to me, I don't need to be doing it to my kids. If I didn't like it when my mom did it to me. But
that's the thing. We have to catch ourselves.
You definitely, because I don't have a down pat yet. Because I'm still
Well, I've gotten better.
Like, my daughter still might be like, can I go? And I'm like, no. But then I kind of gotta, now I mean to know right now. But sometimes I have to kind of go back and sit and be like, what is the reason you're not letting her go?
Yeah.
Why? Why can't she
What
go?
is the fear that you have?
Like, what is it? Like, is it that you don't have, the confidence in her to, make the right decisions?
Or did you not have the confidence in yourself? Or is it just you don't have
the confidence in yourself? Exactly. Yeah. So I had to realize that and had to just, like I said, still sometimes. Like sometimes she might ask me, can she do something? Just the other day, I was like, no. And I went back and like, you know what? Just, like.
Go ahead.
Yeah, because like you gotta.
How do we get to a point of, like when we was growing up, it is completely different. And again, yes, you are younger than me. Like me and your mom are about the same age.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Me and your dad about the same age. But it's like, at what point, like we was doing whatever we wanted to do. But we grew up, even though we're different generations, we're not that far apart from each other. And we had similar backgrounds.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So at what point do we sit back and be like, you know what? And it dawned on me the other day. I was like, my mom was really 21 when she had my sister.
My mom was 16 when she had me. My mom was
16. She was legit still a kid.
My mom was 16, like, and that's what I had to realize with my son, because my oldest son...
She was still learning, too. She was still growing, too.
I had my son when I was 16, turning 17. You see what I'm saying? My first child. Mm-hmm. So it was like, upon doing that, of course I didn't get it, right away, but me and my son, we grew up together. Like, that's one of my best friends, but it's still my son. Mm-hmm. But at a certain point, I had to kind of understand, like, it made me look back and realize, like, that's why me and my mom's relationship is able to be where it is now, because it hasn't always been great. But now I'm able to kind of...
But you realize...
Yeah, I had to kind of forgive some stuff, but then I had to realize, like, wait a minute. Because when things that I used to hold against her, when I have my own kids, it's certain things that I put them through where they were probably holding against me.
And it's every single job. I don't give a damn if you was Little House on the Prairie.
Exactly.
Or
everybody got something going on.
Yep.
But I had to get to the point where it's like, okay, I gotta forgive my mom first of all, because look at the stuff. If I'm asking my children for forgiveness for stuff that I did, I'm going to have to forgive where it started at. You see what I'm saying? Where I got certain of these things from. If I couldn't do that, there's no way I would have been able to move forward.
And having that hard conversation.
That hard conversation with them. I apologize, for a lot of things. And a lot of parents, we don't do that. We feel like a lot of people, oh, this is a child, whatever.
And we just had that conversation with the toxic
kids are people too. They're people. They
parents
deserve respect.
Are people. Period.
Parents are people. Kids
and we
are
forget.
People. Yeah, you gotta just really just look at like how you are with your kid. If you had your kids young and your mom had her kid young, just look at some of the, you won't see some patterns. Things that your mom did with you and you took it over to doing with your kid. Mm-hmm. If you didn't like it when your parent was doing it to you, don't take it on to your child. Mm-hmm. Have enough confidence in your ability, like you said, as a parent. Like, that's the thing. I didn't look at it like that. Like, is it her I'm lacking confidence in, or is it my ability to parent her, the right way?
And it falls in line with that transition, that continuous learning, that consistency, willing to learn, willing to adapt, the consistency within yourself as a parent.
Right.
Because just because I say what say goes, don't mean I'm right.
No, and that's the thing. You gotta let these kids express themselves, because like my son, my little son.
That's my little homie there.
So my little child, my baby, He is his own person, okay?
Yes, indeed.
I mean, he's a little more mature than my older kids, but like, he's his own person. And it's like, sometimes I will be telling him to do something, but I had to realize, like, I'm not always going to be there. Now, if I'm telling you the right thing to do or whatever, but just because I'm telling you something that I feel is right, doesn't mean that that's right for you.
And I had to come with that coach, too. And I think that's why, Ace brought that liberation topic up.
Yeah.
Because that's what they want to be free of.
Yeah. They want to be free of...
Check the block. Everybody got to check the block. Somebody... Is a block always got to be checked? So I understand the conversation. But that also put me in the mind of, you know what? My mama was once a kid, too. My daddy was once a kid, too. Yeah, I heard the stories.
Too.
You know what I'm saying? So it goes all the way back. But every single generation forgets that their parents were once kids. And they were learning, too. They might not have had the same resources that we have now.
And they didn't.
They didn't.
They didn't.
I don't care where you lived at.
Listen, my oldest son just turned 21, okay? And I'm still learning. Yeah. Let me be honest, I'm still learning. Because, like, I had my kids young. Mm-hmm. With him, I had him, my other kids kind of, I was still young, per se, but he was the one I had the youngest.
Yeah.
So it was like, I didn't know a lot of things because a lot of things my mom didn't know, you know? So it was like, okay, she don't know a lot of stuff. I'm her first child. It's trial and error, realistically.
Pretty much.
So
especially with your first.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And you so young.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got into a situation where now I'm repeating the same cycle and now I have a child so young and I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Mm-hmm. I'm just...
But you ain't gonna tell me what to do.
Right. And you not...
I don't know what I'm doing, but I ain't gonna listen to you.
Right. I know I don't want to listen to you because I may feel like, shit, if you gonna tell me to do with him what you did, but then you still turn around and do some of those same things and it's like, oh yeah, I'm kind of go back. But yeah, these kids, they're people. They want to just be recognized. Yeah.
And so are your parents. Your parents are people too.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that, you got me to a point, or even the guardians, not just parents, but whoever was around, you got me to this point, you pushed me out of the nest. I need you to let that chokehold go.
Yeah.
But I need to not forget about you at the same time.
Exactly.
Families have gotten so separated, and I'm guilty of it too. Because we all get so busy, you know what I'm saying, that it happens.
Yeah, I'm like, it gets like that even still with me. Like, I have to literally have, like, okay, let me shut it down. Mm-hmm. I'm not doing this, second, and third. Let me do what I need to do with my kids. Mm-hmm. So they're not feeling like, because I know how I feel. Mm-hmm. Like, I just asked my son the other day, hey, you want to come watch a movie with me? He's like, nah. No. Like...
Mine doesn't.
And like, he just turned 10, my youngest. So I'm like, because he's the one that always... He be right here, you know? So it's like, no. I felt some type of way. I'm going to be honest. I did. Y'all, I felt some type of way. I really did. I was like, no. And I got in my feelings, and I'm going to be totally honest with y'all. I said to him, I'm like, so you want to sit in there and play the game and talk to him? You talk to him every day. Like, I'm like, you can't watch a movie with me for an hour? Like, for real?
There goes that transitional phase.
Right. I felt sometimes. But it was like, himself. And I gotta let him do that. Of course, not too far out right now because you're still young, but I gotta let him do it. It has to be a balance.
A lot of us have tried to do that. Snatch on, this is the way you want to do it, this is the way you're going to do it. To where we forget that they have to find themselves. So, that's definitely, and that's where the toxic topic we had a couple weeks ago, that it falls right along with that, because at what point does your parenting skills turn into borderline toxic? You know what I mean? It's like, I want you to grow, I want you to change, I'm going to throw all this responsibility on your plate and teach you, but I just ain't going to let you go do it.
Go do it. It's like, that is like,
you don't have confidence in yourself.
And it's a contradiction to us, because why are we wasting not wasting it, but why are we doing all of this and we're instilling all these things in our children, and then we're not even giving them a chance to even see if they even listen to us and it worked?
Mm-hmm. But at the same time, they're going to forget that we were once young.
Yeah.
They forget just the same way we forget that our parents were once young. and still learning, and they didn't have the tools back then, or they didn't have the recognition or even the guidance, or
right.
You know what I'm saying? They may have went through abusive stages or, whatever. But until we actually sit back and it dawned on me the other day, I was like, you know what? I'm an asshole. You know what I'm saying? Because I let go of a lot of my past.
Right.
And I've forgiven for the majority of my past, because without my past, I wouldn't be
right,
here.
exactly.
I don't live in the past. But it dawned on me like I was an asshole. I should have asked these questions early on.
Yeah.
Instead of just trying to, avoid the topic and just put my foot down and be like, you just don't want to listen, or what Will Smith said, parents just don't understand.
Yeah.
We assume they don't understand, but sometimes they really don't understand.
Yeah.
So we as children have to understand that our parents were once children.
Yeah.
You got to be open-minded. And now I'm not excusing if they're doing some ignorant shit. I'm not excusing none of that.
No. By all means.
But just as much as parents can go to children and have that open communication, children
should be able to come to parents and have it. And that's one of the things I try to keep with my kids is like, listen, I'm going to be honest. Just come tell me. Like we got an open door policy around here. Even now, well, not right now, but like before.
Yeah.
I instilled a while ago, like, when my kids get in trouble, if you get in trouble, I'm not just going to let you get in trouble and then that just be that. I'm going to let you get in trouble and then you might be on punishment, but once I calm down, I'm going to come in there and we're going to have this conversation. Mm-hmm. Like, what is causing the issue? And I'm going to be totally honest. Doing that opened up the floodgate of knowing actually what is going on with my child. Why they're doing certain things.
Or why they have the rebelliousness, or why they have, but that's where that communication comes in.
That was one of the best things I've done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're not telling you how to parent.
No.
You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it boils down, and single parents, as a whole. Yeah, we're going to take a break, and we're going to come back on that extended conversation of, yes, we're parents, but what if it's a single parent, male or female? Mm. We're going to come back to that. We'll be right back. I'm going to eat my donut. Alrighty, we back. So, our first half was about parenting and remembering that your parents was once kids. And you had your first at a young age. Your mama had you at a young age. My mama had me the same age that I had my son, but I was 23. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'm still young.
Yeah, you're still young.
I still didn't know shit.
Right.
But, I was still kind of young, but I wasn't, a teenager or whatnot. But what we're going to twist this topic in at is the single parenting side, because I've done a show, like my second or third show, I think it was, Are You Really a Single Parent? You know what I mean? So since we on the topic of parents, we just going to twist it to a secondary topic off of it, a subtopic. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? If you taking notes and shit, a subtopic of single parenting, because there is a big difference. So me asking you, because perception is reality, my perception is
right
way different than a lot of other people's or whatnot. But just from your perception, what really defines a single parent?
To me, you single. It's just you and your children.
I was gonna say, so just because I'm not married?
No, not because you don't have, because first of all, if you have a man and he is providing, for your household and you and your children, you're not a single parent. To me, that's how I feel.
Yeah.
You're not a single parent. To me, I feel like being a single parent is you're 100% solo.
Yeah.
That's it. It's just you and these kids. You gonna have to figure everything out. I've been a single parent.
Yeah.
I've been a single parent where it's just been me and my children.
Yeah.
And everything that I done, I had to schedule around my children.
Yeah.
If I knew my kids had to be picked up by a certain time, guess what? I had to get off work and go and pick up my child at that time because I was a single parent.
Yeah. You didn't have that
I didn't have that support. I was a single parent. Once the support came in, like before me and my husband got married, we were dating or whatever. Okay, he took on some of that responsibility of okay, you don't got to leave work every day to go and pick up King from the bus stop, and then you know when you pick him up from the bus stop, you take him back to the office. You don't got to do that. Like, I'll go pick him up.
Yeah.
You know, at that point now, my load has lightened. I'm not a single parent no more. I have someone assisting me with parenting my children.
Yeah.
So to me, single parent means it's just you and your kids. At the end of the day, you know, if you got to be at work at 6 o'clock in the morning, your kids got to be at school at this time.
But does that also include the parents that choose to, you know, the bitter parents? I can't even say bitter baby mamas because
they be the daddies too. Because listen, child, nigga, you bitter. I'm saying that on camera. You know who you are. You bitter as shit. Let it go.
I don't even know who the hell she's talking about, but
let it go, bro. Like, let it go. Let it go. Just let it go, bro. Like,
but I really believe that, you know, there's some people they'll go on social media or whatever, and not just women. There's single dads out here too.
Right.
Single parents can go either way, and they don't get the support. Just like there's some women that don't get the support,
right.
like wholeheartedly.
Right.
Don't get no support. Well, so not the other family, not your family. Not
right.
No, you're literally a single parent. There's single dads out there, you know, out there just as much as there's single moms. They just don't bring it up as much as women
right.
do. We be the main ones that go online and be like, you know, I do this by myself.
You have those kids though. I'm gonna be honest. We as women gotta start taking accountability. Now, don't fight me because I know how you girls like to tussle, but I'm just gonna say it. Like, we gotta start being accountable as women. We have to. Like, you cannot. First of all, and this goes for myself too. I never complain about like my children's father not doing certain things. Because at a certain point, I knew what you had going on before I even decided to have a child with you. Yeah. I knew. You didn't blind me. You didn't bamboozle or trick me. I seen the red flags of certain things, of characteristics. No, we might not have had kids together. Yeah. But there were other things that let me know, like, this nigga ain't gonna be no good parent. So ultimately, when I had that child, as the saying goes, mama's babies, papa's maybes. And I hate that it's like that, but we are the ones that carry these children. We are the ones that have these children.
And we also have options.
And we have options. Now, if you choose not to, you know,
strap up, or
make him, or however it goes, and you choose to have this child, you have to understand that it is a possibility that you may end up being a single parent. Some of these men will flat out tell you, I don't want no kids. I don't want a kid by you. They may want children, but they just may not want it by you. But y'all do this, it's my body. You can't tell me not to have a this, that, and the third. Okay.
And then get mad
Keep
when
that
he get
same energy. Remember, you the one told.
Yep.
Lil Rico or whoever you told. Remember, you told him, this is my body. He told you, hey, I want to have a baby with you. You still chose to have that. So keep that same energy. It is your body. Don't go try to make somebody do something that they don't want to do. They don't want to do it. They told you that. What you thought it was going to change when the baby came? It rarely does.
What gets me is, you know, at the same instance, it goes back to remembering that your parents were once young too, whatever. It goes all into that same instance because 9 times out of 10, if your mom had you at a young age by a dude that wasn't around, and then you turned around and did the same thing.
Well, my dad wasn't around. Shout out to my dad. He just went to the military.
Yeah.
At a young age. My dad
I'm not talking about her story.
Because I'm like, I'm shouting out my dad.
Yeah.
He went to the military at a young age.
My dad was the shit.
When he had me. Okay, baby.
But at the same, you was that motivation at the same time. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Because he was thugging.
But we have to also, it just all goes hand in hand with parenting is we're not going to be the perfect parents. Whether it be single,
but
co-parenting,
if you choose to be, don't complain about it.
Hold yourself accountable. Yes, it's going to be times where you get frustrated. It's going to be hard. It's going to be all that good stuff. But if you're choosing to keep that child from the weekend visits or from the other grandma or from, you know what I'm saying, then you're choosing to place yourself into that single parenting mode.
Yeah, because some people do like.
And then you bitch about it.
If you're bitter. And because I do know some people like that, where the man or vice versa, maybe the woman, they want to
behind on child support.
They want
to
actually
him this weekend.
A parent to the child. It's like, okay, I want to be a parent to my child, but you may be harboring some. Oh, he hurt me this many years ago, or she didn't want to be with me, but yeah. So you want to keep that child from that
with me because single dads.
You are opting in to be a single parent. Don't go on social media and bash the father when you're not telling the whole side. You're a single parent because you bitter as hell.
And dads, don't be bashing the baby mama when you slept with them.
And don't be bashing a baby mama when you know that you really ain't shit either. That's the thing. Like, if you're a single dad and your baby mama just not shit, because it is something like that.
There is some raggedy.
It's not just the women who go through it with men. It is men that go through it with women as well.
They getting drugged.
And drug through the mud.
I've seen dudes and I try to tell them, go. It gets exhausting to fight through the legal system or whatever, or they don't believe that they're gonna win anyway, or whatever excuse they come up with in their mind to not go through that battle. But I tell them, like, bruh, you realize that child is gonna grow up. They don't come looking for you.
A lot of people don't do their due diligence as the parent, because this is my thing. There's no way that you can sit around as a parent, man or female, and say, oh, I want to see my child, but she not letting me. Or I want to see my child, but he not letting me. Go to court. What are you scared of? That's the thing. You want to say, oh, I don't want to go to court. Well, you don't want to see your kid. Because if this person who is in control of your child is not allowing you to see that child, you have options. Whether you exercise them or not, it's totally up to you.
I've even seen where baby mamas give up children for adoption without the signature.
Listen.
And then the dad don't want to go fight the system because they not the most legit joker on earth. So
and it doesn't matter. You just lost your kid because people are so... I don't know what it is. People look at it like, oh, I don't want to go to court. I don't want to go to court. I don't want to go to court. I don't want to go to court.
It is exhausting with money. Yes, money does play a major role when it comes into fighting. But you can also represent yourself.
You can listen. You can represent yourself, but they have programs. Legal aid for that. You see what I'm saying? There's no excuse. If you want to see your child realistically, you're going to do whatever you got to do to see your kid.
Legally, you're going to do whatever you got to do.
I ain't saying go kidnap the baby and go kidnap,
Let's clarify that. You ain't going to say Lee and Hersh said shit.
Yeah.
Legally, there's options available out there.
Use them. If you're a dad and your baby mother is miserable and bitter and she won't let you see your child, go, especially if you're a dad and you're on child support. You really shouldn't have no excuse. Go right. You already got a case open. Go to the courthouse. Get you some legal aid.
Volunteer to put yourself on child support.
Get your kids legitimized.
That's the biggest thing.
Get your children legitimized so you can have some rights.
But there's a lot of cats that there's a lot of cats that will claim a child knowing. And I'm glad, I give them big shout outs because they're claiming a child that they know may not be theirs.
Right.
And they don't want the truth of this child is not really mine. You know what I'm saying? But then you're doing the bickering back and forth with the baby mama.
They like it. I'm gonna be honest. They like the drama.
They're
addicted to it. Like we talked about addictions earlier.
Because when you
that's addictive behavior. Some people just like
because
to argue.
When you get that child legitimized, the truth gonna come out.
Exactly.
But y'all want to stand there and bitch and fight and complain about who's not doing what and who's doing the bitterness and who's doing whatever and who's not doing whatever. But you're actually harming the child and helping the child. So what if this man still wants to raise him or her as their own?
Right.
That's fine. That's something that y'all can mutually come to an agreement with for the betterment of the child. But health purposes, historical purposes, family purposes, you need the truth.
Yeah, and everybody can't face the truth.
Nope.
Everybody can't face the truth. And it goes just back to like...
But you're going to wait until this joker get 16, 17
either you're going to deal with the bullshit or you're going to step up and hear something. It's a possibility. So you got to prepare yourself for it.
That's where the open communication comes in at. But at the same time, if you're not willing to admittedly, for one, you got to admit to fault.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so what if you was promiscuous?
Right.
And you were single at the time.
That's your business.
It's your business.
But stop lying. Listen,
Ooh.
I don't give a... Let me just say this on record. Oh, my gosh.
Maury. Y'all keep Maury.
Y'all need to stop playing with these people about these kids. Yeah. If you know this is not the daddy, I don't care how much you love this man or whatever. Be honest. Mm-hmm. Be honest, because...
Don't put nobody on the birth certificate. How about that?
You're putting your child...
Don't put nobody on the birth certificate. You're putting your child in front of so much. Because let's hypothetically say you going around and you saying this person is your child's father and you know damn well it's not. Because some of these people be knowing that is not the daddy. There's no way around it. That baby is white and this man is 100%, like Cat Williams said. We actually have a family member. That boy came out. He came out blonde hair, blue eyes. No, we always like, bruh, you need to get up.
No, you know in some instances, because we can't always look like that. But there are literally some people who just like, you know this is not your child. Like,
especially
the dates don't add up. The certain things don't, but you still
add up the dates, man.
You still want to take responsibility. Like, the women gotta stop doing that. Just keep it real, because let's say your baby needs a blood transfusion.
But also, some men just really want that child to be their child.
Yeah, there are some, and they don't want to know. Yep. They don't want to know.
So it goes all the way.
I didn't went with that with my dad. He I ain't gonna put nobody business in the street, but people was young. Yeah. Stuff happened. And it's like, me being an adult, we not gonna keep going back and forth. Hey, I had to take as an adult. Okay, let's go find out. Let's go do these things. Yeah. Like, we not gonna keep playing. Who wants to play the guessing game?
But then some people use that as that trauma excuse to, it all goes hand in hand with our previous conversations with the pivotal points, the trauma facing, the realities, the numbing, the excuses, the this, the that, the third. But it typically starts with, you have, like you said, women need to hold ourselves accountable. We have this child, this being that we brought into life. Our job is to nurture them and be that lioness and to protect them. But if there is not a real purpose to protect them from...
Half of the time, the child need to be protected from you. Yep. That's the thing. It need to be protected from you. You knew you shouldn't have been having no baby.
And
I'm going to be honest, I was one of those. I shouldn't have been having no damn baby. I was young as hell. Yeah. Like, no. Why am I having this kid? Realistically, I am pro-abortion. I will say it on camera. I just feel like if you know you cannot
I feel like it's your choice.
It's your choice.
It's your choice.
If you can't afford a child, you already know. If you struggling now, what make you think it's going to change when you had a baby? It's going to get worse.
And that comes to another point of, baby, parenting. Parenting is not easy and it's not cheap at all. I don't care if you had them at 16. I don't care if you had them at 38. Parenting is not cheap. And guess what? It's going to get more and more expensive.
Having a damn baby ain't even cheap.
But this is what the part that killed me. I seen something on, what was it, Facebook? I don't know if the girl was playing. But she was just like, well, if I got 6 different baby daddies, that's $2,000 a month per. I was like,
who the hell?
Who's gonna keep popping out these kids just for some child?
And a lot of these, and first of all, men, let me tell you this, because these ladies do be playing, and they gonna hate me for that, and they gonna be trying to jump me outside. But I'm just gonna tell y'all right now,
don't do it.
When y'all get these women that are like this child support crazy, and y'all already got other kids, and they just want you to pay child support.
You set yourself.
Y'all better start telling the judge you have other children, because a lot of them be just the only one, because like the only mama got them off of child support. You said if had one mama. So if one mama has you off.
My thing is this, like, bruh, if you don't see yourself with this young lady, even if it don't work out in the long run, but if you. Y'all better start strapping up and pulling out.
Because AIDS is real. Don't even start pulling out. Just strap up. AIDS is real.
Shit, strap up and pull out. Especially if she loosey-goose and easily fertile. Like, you breathe on a bitch, she get pregnant. Like,
I know some of them.
Run.
I know some.
Run.
Don't let them do it.
I know some dudes that'll breathe on a chick and she pregnant. You know what I mean?
I know some of them too. Run.
So, what it pretty much boils down to is, this was a whole off the topic parenting subject, but it's still about parenting, and we have to hold ourselves accountable for what we chose to do.
And that's what a lot of women don't want to do. And we have to. It's not always the man's fault. If you knew he wasn't shit from the beginning, you knew he wasn't going to take care of the baby, he told you he didn't want that baby, stop getting on social media, talk about you, a single parent, he ain't doing shit. You knew he wasn't going to do shit before you had the baby.
Or you're stopping him from doing shit because you mad.
Bitter.
So,
accountability.
And the same thing with single dads. Single dads,
you knew she was a freak when you had her. She ain't got none of her other kids. But she was looking good, and now you got the baby, and now she dragging you. So, like, come on, sir. You can't do that. You knew you should have just got in and got out. Ain't nobody told you to try to wife her.
So, some of them actually become single dads because of divorces.
That too, yeah.
But not all women are created to be mothers.
No.
Just as much as not all men are created to be fathers. And sometimes they learn a little late.
Yeah.
But guess what? It's not up to you to stand in between that relationship that may grow or not grow between you and the other parent.
Yeah.
We got to stay out of that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very true.
It's not our business.
Yeah.
That's between them and that parent.
Let your child have a relationship with the parent. Eventually, and that's what I do with one of my kids. I allow them to have the relationship, even though I feel it's toxic and it's disgusting. I just allow it because eventually my child is going to see, which my child is starting to see, like, this not that. Yeah. Like, hey, you tripping. Like, you be saying this, you be doing this. Mm-hmm. The child is going to start to realize on their own. We can't just shelter them because guess what it turns into? Bitterness. The child starts resenting you. Yeah. Because as they get older and they finally run into that family member, or not even just the father or the mother or whatever, when they run into that other family member and they're like, shit, she the reason or he the reason why we ain't never see you. Yeah. Then it turns into that bitterness and that resentment of now you and the child that you've been protecting and that you're raising to the best of your ability with what you can without bringing up the extra drama. Right. It is what it is at this point. But, hey, parenting ain't for the weak. It's definitely not for the weak. And just be selective with who you have kids with. It better be just like a job interview. Like, shit. Go buy a puppy. That too. Or a plant. Get a plant. See if you can keep that plant alive for 1 year. 1 year. If that plant is dead after a couple months, don't have a kid. But until next time, this is the HERshyt Show.
Log on to youtube.com and subscribe to the HERshyt Show at THERshytShow. Brought to you by 8 Robinsons TV and Yellow Tub Creative.
Subscribe to The HERshyt Show on YouTube and Facebook. Support by purchasing merchandise at www.8robinsons.com.